What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, August 7th, 2024, and I have an emergency update to share with you guys. Right now, it is 2200 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from the Middle East and also in Ukraine. So, with everybody focusing on the situation with Iran and Israel, we have some major news coming in from Ukraine. So, Ukraine has invaded Russia and they have occupied positions as far away from their border as 20 kilometers into Russian territory. So, that's like, what, 15 miles or so going into Russia. And we've been hearing that Russia has been trying to bombard the Ukrainians in Russia. They're bombing their own territory now to try to get rid of the Ukrainians. And Putin held an emergency meeting earlier today with Gerasimov and Belousov. Belousov is the new defense minister. So this is very serious, and it could give Putin the excuse he needs to nuke Ukraine or potentially launch missiles into NATO and target NATO bases. We also have some fresh video footage coming in this evening, coming from the Kursk region of Russia, where the Ukrainians have invaded, and it apparently shows an F-16 flying over Kursk, dropping flares and possibly a JDAM. So I cannot confirm 100% if this is legitimate footage, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently it was a Ukrainian F-16 flying over Kursk, giving air cover to the Ukrainian troops in Russia. Okay, so Ukraine has literally invaded Russia. They're using American weapons to do this. They have an F 16 flying over the area with American weapons targeting Russian troops on Russian soil. So this is very, very serious. And I want to just update you guys on the situation with Iran and Israel. So tonight, apparently, Iran scheduled this military exercise in the western part of their country, and many people believe that that could be the actual strike on Israel. We'll have to wait and see, but Iran told Egypt that they were going to be doing some type of an exercise in western Iran on Thursday morning. And so Egypt then issued a NOTAM warning their pilots not to fly into western Iran. So we'll have to wait and see, but we've had some very unusual nuclear forces activity tonight. So we had several encrypted data messages going over the primary nuclear war frequencies, and they were global. So they were transmitted all across the world to global nuclear forces of the US. And it was some kind of encrypted message, and it was transmitted several times this evening. Now, in addition to this, we've had as many as 5 or 6 Russian long range radars or nuclear war radars active tonight. There's actually one still active right now, but we had as many as 5 or 6 active throughout the course of the evening. Let me play this strange encrypted message for you on the primary nuclear war frequency here. So very strange. And here we have the Russian nuclear war radars. So there's actually 2 of them here. There's just one playing in the background, but you can actually see 2 on this waterfall here. And then here you can actually see 3 of them on the waterfall and one in the background. So, a U.S. official said that Iran has made military preparations and moves that the U.S. expects to see before a major attack on Israel. Okay, so the U.S. is confirming that Iran has put things into position. And they reported like 2 days ago that they saw ballistic missile launchers being moved around. And if you didn't see my update earlier, I recommend you watch it. And before I continue with the breaking news, I wanted to mention the sponsor for this update, which is My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply is doing their most aggressive discount yet on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the deal, you got to go to preparewithnYprepper.com. They've lowered the price of their 3-month food supply from $800 down to $500. 3 months of emergency food for $500. That is a really good deal, and it will last you 25 years because it is freeze dried and it's all packed within 6 rugged water resistant buckets. So you have all that food in a small package. You can store that pretty much anywhere. And you can also take it with you. If you have to bug out, you can throw that in your vehicle easily. So use the link preparewithnYprepper.com to get $300 off the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, $500 for it. Also, they have free shipping and handling included. In addition to the 3-month supply, they also have a general store. And to get to their general store, you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see the My Patriot Supply logo at the very bottom of the page. You click on that and it'll take you to their general store, and they have all kinds of discounts. And to get the deals, you got to use my link, preparewithnYprepper.com, and I'll leave the link in the description below this video. The U.S. has moved F-22s into the Middle East, which is a huge red flag that something is about to go down and something serious is about to go down, because F-22s specialize in penetrating enemy airspace. They're a stealth fighter, so they can fly into, let's say, Iran, avoid air defenses, and bomb certain targets without being detected. Okay, so the U.S. is clearly preparing for a massive escalation here. We know that the U.S. has threatened Iran and warned Iran not to do this. And Israeli officials have said that Iran could be targeting the Israeli parliament, the Israeli prime minister's office, the IDF headquarters, the Mossad headquarters, various military bases across Israel, including possibly the Dimona research facility where the nuclear weapons program in Israel was born, potentially also electrical infrastructure, seaports, airports, and gas platforms, because Israel does have a lot of natural gas platforms off their coast in the Mediterranean. So if Iran carries out such a strategic, widespread attack on Israel, I can guarantee you 110% that Israel will declare war on Iran, okay? Because now you're talking about a widespread strategic attack meant to basically destroy the state of Israel, okay? Attacking their parliament building, prime minister's office, seaports, airports, gas platforms, infrastructure, and on and on. The nuclear weapons facility, okay? That would be like if Russia launched missiles at the White House and the Capitol building and the port of Newark and the port of Los Angeles and, various bases across our country. Do you think we would just sit back and do nothing? Okay, Israel will declare war on Iran if there's a widespread strategic attack. The first time when this happened, Israel let it go. The Biden administration was pressuring Israel to stand down because they intercepted all the missiles. So they said that it was a victory, even though it wasn't a victory, because Iran launched 300 drones and missiles at Israel, and there was no punishment for it other than Israel flying in with F-35s and blowing up a couple of S-400 complexes around their Natanz facility, their nuclear facility, as basically a warning sign. Okay, but this time around, Israel's not going to do that. They've already given them that warning, And with a widespread strategic strike like that, we can expect, at the very least, for Israel to declare war on Iran and to basically annihilate their nuclear facilities, destroy a lot of their bases, their oil, their naval shipyards, and the U.S. would probably be involved in that as well. Okay, here we have 2 Australian Air Force planes, C-130s, that flew to Cyprus, which is very interesting, either to support the military operations with the U.S. and Israel in this part of the world, in Lebanon, Syria, for the upcoming attack, or potentially to evacuate Australians from Lebanon. Okay, 2 C-130s going to Cyprus this evening. We also had a British Eurofighter Typhoon that was flying along the border of Turkey and Syria with an aerial refueler, which is pretty interesting. And then here we have that footage of the supposed F-16 flying over the Kursk region in Russia. It's a Ukrainian F-16 flying over Russian territory, dropping flares. Flares are to protect the fighter jet from heat-seeking missiles. So let's just watch this here.
Это ракеты полетели. Да закройте ебальники, это ракета, самолет пускает, блядь. Летит сюда обратно. А смотри, вот. Ебать он близко.
They're saying something about ballistic rockets and planes.
Ах, стоп, это не в нашу сторону. Вот он полетел. Да, это в нашу. Это в нашу. Стой.
So you can see those flares right there, okay? So these are Russians filming this. They're saying that this could be their fighter jet. But if it was their fighter jet, why would it be dropping flares on friendly territory? That doesn't make any sense. So there it is, dropping the JDAM bomb. You can actually hear the sonic boom there. You can hear the jet flying away after the bomb goes off. So they're saying some very bad curse words there in Russian, okay, equivalent to the F word, but even worse than that. So pretty crazy, guys. And we also have some breaking news that Israel is stocking up on blood supplies at a fortified underground site. This is being reported by Reuters, and the Fars news agency, which is a news agency for the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps of Iran, is hinting that 0 hour may be approaching and that the Iranian attack on Israel may begin at dawn today, Thursday. Pakistan is reportedly planning to provide Iran with ballistic missiles to support its planned offensive against Israel. So that is very concerning. And all of these countries had a meeting today in Saudi Arabia, okay? Pakistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, all those countries, they had a meeting about this whole situation. And the UK revised its NOTAM for Lebanon, stating that pilots should not go into Lebanese airspace at all, updating from their original notice, which said they should take potential risks into account. Okay, so they're now saying pilots should not fly into Lebanon at all. Before they were saying take potential risks into account. And Canada also issued a similar NOTAM as well, advising Canadian pilots to avoid Lebanon at all costs. And the Canadian Armed Forces are reportedly pre-positioning assets in case its fleet is needed to evacuate Canadians from Lebanon amid escalating tensions in the Middle East, according to government officials. Over the weekend, a Canadian Globemaster aircraft used in humanitarian and peacekeeping missions was spotted on a flight tracking website landing in Beirut. In a statement late Tuesday night, the Department of National Defense said the military is currently pre-positioning assets in the eastern Mediterranean region in case evacuation planning and logistical support is needed. The forward positioning of assets is part of standard Canadian Forces preparatory activities that support planning and liaison activities with other government departments and agencies, as well as information sharing between allies to ensure optimal situational awareness in the region, said the statement. The preparations come after continued warnings from the federal government for the roughly 20,000 Canadians living in Lebanon to leave. If you are in Lebanon, come back home. If tensions escalate, the situation on the ground may not allow us to help you and you won't be able to leave, Foreign Affairs Minister Melanie Joly urged in a social media post last week. So, Canada preparing to evacuate their citizens. Very, very serious, guys. And in my update earlier, I reported that Israel has already deployed search and rescue battalions of the IDF into Tel Aviv and various cities in southern and central Israel in the event of a massive strike on Tel Aviv and various cities. And there were some Israeli airstrikes in southern Lebanon earlier this evening, but they were not anything significant. You know, there was a lot of talk that Israel would carry out some kind of a preemptive attack, but it looks like that hasn't happened yet. And Ukrainian forces have allegedly taken control over the Sujba gas metering station of the Urengoy Pomare Uzhrod main gas pipeline. Nearly 50% of all Russian gas exports to the European Union flow through this station. It is the only operational Russian gas pipeline supplying the European market. Okay, so Ukraine has taken control of this critical gas pipeline and metering station that delivers gas to Europe. This is huge, guys. And Ukraine captured apparently 300 Russian soldiers already. And the Russian Foreign Ministry spokeswoman, Maria Zakharova, said Russia calls on the international community to strongly condemn the criminal attacks of the Kiev regime on the territory of the Russian Federation. And European Commission spokesperson Peter Stano said today that Ukraine has the legal right to defend itself, including striking an aggressor on its territory, which is actually true according to international law. According to the UN Charter, countries are allowed to attack other countries in self-defense on their territory. And what's funny is that the head of Ukraine's intelligence, Kirilo Budanov, made a funny statement. He said, you know, Western partners are not allowing us to use missiles to strike Russian targets in Russia. So we're just going to go in on the ground and reach those targets on the ground and destroy them that way. So I thought that was pretty funny. And the United States has issued a warning to Turkey regarding its military exports to Russia, expressing concerns about potential breaches of international sanctions. And Bulgaria passed a law today that will keep questions related to LGBTQ plus out of school curriculums. 159 MPs voted in favor, only 22 MPs voted against. The law will also ban incitement of non-traditional sexual orientation and gender identity other than the biological one in class. So very interesting. Looks like Bulgaria becoming a very conservative country. And ex-UN weapons inspector Scott Ritter's home in upstate New York was raided by the FBI today as part of a federal investigation, officials said. An FBI spokeswoman confirmed to the New York Post that agents conducted a raid on the Del Mar home as part of a federal investigation. She declined to comment further, citing the ongoing probe. FBI agents and New York State police could be seen searching Ritter's home that afternoon. And Ritter recently had his passport seized by the U.S. Department of State as he tried to fly to Russia for a conference. So pretty crazy situation, guys. I'm going to be monitoring everything with the nuclear forces And if anything happens, I will be live, updating live. I do have the 24/7 live stream ongoing right now. And I'm going to be in there tonight monitoring things. So you can come in and hang out tonight. I'll be in the stream for a couple hours probably. So if I don't see you there, I'll see you on the next one. And be ready, guys, because this could all pop off any hour now. And it could potentially change the world forever. Okay. So until the next time, take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.